Hello guys, now you will hear a brief summary of the movie Colors. If you enjoy my videos, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Enjoy watching. In the 1980s, there were over 600 gangs in Los Angeles, with a total membership of almost 70,000 people. They were opposed by a special police unit called CRASH, Community Resources Against Street Hoodlums, which consisted of only 250 officers. Denny McGavin was a rookie in this unit. As punishment for an inappropriate joke during roll call, he was partnered with the veteran cop, Bob Hodges. One night, members of the Crips gang shot a small-time gangster from a rival Bloods gang from their van. A local kid pointed out the old lady who witnessed the crime to the cops, but she dismissed them. She had to continue living there. The CRASH officers constantly clashed with regular cops, and they were given orders to clean up the streets for at least a couple of days. They started making active arrests of both blue and red bandana-wearing gang members. They apprehended Rocket, who shot the boy that night. In jail, there was only one barrier separating the crowds of red and blue inmates. The older cop advises the young rookie thug to ditch the blue rag and find better friends. The locals know Hodges well. The veteran cop hates working in this unit, but the captain keeps sending him back to the ghetto streets. The partners targeted Crips gang members and made them kneel. A dealer tried to escape, but Danny stopped him and made him sit with the others. The youngest among the detainees was only 14 years old.
What's your heart beating for?
I'm scared, man.
Clarence Brown, nicknamed High Top, threw rocks at the car, but Danny easily found the package he had discarded. High Top was divided. It turned out he was from the Bloods gang. It turned out to belong to a Bloods gang member. The outraged Blues promised to kill him. Hodges ordered his partner to release High Top, saying that the dealer would owe him a favor now. The veteran gave the rest of them a second chance, demanding their respect. Denny was disgusted by this approach to work, but Hodges tried to be loyal to the locals. His goal was to make them communicate with him rather than avoid cops. However, Danny no longer listened to him. He became infatuated with a waitress at a diner.
When you get out of jail?
What?
I could put a word in with parole. What's your name?
Lisa?
Danny flirted with the smiling Cuban girl and promised to come back. The partners entered the territory of the city's oldest Latino gang, who wore black bandanas and didn't interact much with Hodges. On 21st Street, there was a gang of misfits from the social window who were being bullied by everyone. One hooligan threw a stone at the cop's car, and the guys scattered in different directions. The cops stopped near the group and asked why they were throwing stones at the police car. The leader among them greeted Hodges as his friend, and Hodges introduced his young partner. Hodges asked the leader to punish the youngsters himself for their stone-throwing incident. The local community asks the cops to deal with the gangs. But what can they do when their kids see gold-adorned drug dealers driving Bentleys and realize they don't even have to finish school for that? The Bloods say goodbye to their fallen comrade in a tiny church. The priest openly states that the street gangs are to blame for the tragedy and that it's time for regular people to stand up against them. Right at that moment, the building was shot at by the Blues. Danny and Hodges were on duty at the church and chased the criminals through the neighborhood. They called for helicopter backup. The gangsters raced through the narrow alleyways of the ghetto, shooting at police cars on the go. The thugs knocked over food carts and tried every means to escape the cops. But soon, they were surrounded. In the end, the car with the gangsters crashed and exploded. The vehicle with our heroes flipped over. Hodges invited Danny to his place, and the young man came along, not alone, but with the waitress, Louisa. The veteran assessed the rookie. He said it wasn't worth rushing and risking their lives. It's easy to end up in a coffin that way. Hodges had 3 kids, and retirement was less than a year away. However, Danny expressed his disagreement with his partner's methods. He didn't need the respect of the thugs. Louisa enjoyed the date, and that night they spent it together in her bed. The partners received a new bright yellow car, and the cops immediately came up with the nickname Pac-Man for Danny. The police are conducting an operation. A shipment of fire extinguishers was removed from the port. It was unclear what kind of intense fires they needed to put out in the ghetto. So when a cop checked one of the fire extinguishers and found cocaine inside, based on a tip, the squad stormed the house of a big guy nicknamed Bear and Danny arrested him. He also helped beat up a thug hiding in the neighboring house. They placed an extinguisher in front of Bear and offered him a deal. If he named 5 names, he would be released immediately. The thug didn't need much convincing. He immediately gave them all up. One of the suppliers was High Top. Danny immediately confronted Hodges since they already had the gangster in their hands. During another raid, an enraged Danny grabbed a thug by the throat and nearly choked him. Another guy got caught when he was vandalizing a wall with paint. While Hodges talked to him in a fatherly manner and let him go, Danny grabbed a spray can and sprayed the hooligan right in the face. The veteran pushed his partner away. The ruthless Pac-Man was already known throughout the ghetto. The dealer refuses to give up his supplier.
My auntie. Say, man, I'm just kicking it here, man. I'm just chilling out, man. What Pac-Man on me for?
So Danny punched him in the face, roughly handcuffed him, and dragged him into the car by his hair. Hodges is against the use of excessive force during arrests, and he attacked his partner at the station. The rookie suggests that the veteran choose which side he's on. Danny's relationship with Louisa has soured. It's all because everyone hates Pac-Man here. And Danny also beat up Louisa's male cousin. It's not the local gangsters that scare her, but him. She has no intention of dating a statist. Frog came to negotiate about his nephew Felipe, who was arrested for gang activity. He asks to have his nephew's information erased from the computer. Hodges promised to help him with that, but Frog himself was immediately arrested for unpaid fines for traffic violations. Near the beach, Hodges spotted High Top, who immediately started running away from the cop. The criminal hijacked a motorcycle. Pac-Man inconspicuously pursued him in his yellow car. And at one moment, he cut off the fugitive, causing him to crash right through the window of a restaurant. Regaining consciousness, High Top took a woman hostage and dragged her upstairs by the neck. Realizing there was nowhere to run, High Top pushed the hostage away and dashed into the kitchen. He was caught up by Danny, but after a prolonged fight, Danny found himself in a suffocating hold. His partner came to his rescue and seized the criminal's hand. Together, they finally managed to arrest High Top. Danny was pleased that the veteran put up a fight, and Hodges admitted he had been foolish to let the criminal go the first time. Danny also apologized, but it was too late. Hodges managed to request a new partner for himself. He had previously been in a relationship with a woman he constantly quarreled with. He had had enough. In prison, the inmates brutally beat up the High Top because he had dealings with a rival gang. The head of security refused medical help to the inmate, but offered to transfer him to another block in exchange for useful information. That's when the High Top revealed that Rocket was killed by Rocket at night. A helicopter quickly spotted a blue van from which the guy was shot. 4 patrol cars pulled up to the parking lot. Danny ordered the driver and passenger to exit the vehicle. The suspects were detained. Pac-Man interrogates one of them in the interrogation room. Willie freezes and refuses to give the name of Rocket's girl. Fine. If he continues to behave that way, Danny will give him $50 in front of everyone at the station and thank him for his cooperation. Cheryl Williams. He squeezed the name out of the bandit. Hodges questions another detainee. Danny puts on a performance, saying that Willie revealed the name of Rocket's girl, but he already forgot it. Something like Cheryl Williams, Sharon Robbins. The thug corrected him. And that's how the partners learned the real name of the girl who Rocket is likely hiding with. Cops surrounded the house. Moans could be heard from inside. The couple was so engrossed in each other that they didn't even hear the cops breaking in. Hodges said it was Truton and not Rocket. But the guy suddenly moved in that direction, and the mustached cop shot him in the back several times. Before dying, Truton said he just wanted to put on his underwear. The girl, out of old habit, thought Pac-Man had fired the shots. Crips gang members decided to take out the hated cop. Tyburn, high on drugs, barged into the store and danced with a huge rabbit. The drugged guy thought he was at home, and when he was arrested, he demanded his rabbit back. In jail, Tibbin tells his cellmate how the cops killed Truton when he was just fooling around in bed with Rocket's girl. And supposedly Pac-Man did it. They will definitely get the cop. His story was overheard by Frog, who was sitting nearby playing cards. Even in the police station, some believe that it was Danny who shot him. But the main thing is that Hodges already knows that his partner is being hunted. He revealed the name of his informant to other policemen. Froggoed him. That's why it's sometimes beneficial to be friends with gangsters. Rocket and his gang are hiding in an abandoned house while cops are prowling around the neighborhood. The gang suspects that the police have learned about their plans regarding Pac-Man. All the people from Rocky's gang are here except Tibbun, and the idiot is sitting with Frog, Hodge's buddy. He's 100% the snitch. They need to take him out. Frog's brother posted bail for him, and he was released. The first thing the guy did was attend a party. The whole house was packed with members of the gang from 21st Street and their women. A car from the Crips drove by. Rocket and his associates opened fire on the building. Patrol officers immediately arrived at the crime scene. One girl was killed. A young mother. The devastated widower cries and wonders why. And Pac-Man sees his ex-girlfriend, who was having fun in bed with a gangster. The girl taunts the cop, and he tries to escape and not look at Louisa. The bird saw that Rocket was the one who shot. Philip asks to join the gang and take care of the Crips. Frog speculated that he was too weak, and the boy was subjected to a severe beating for several minutes. If the young man withstands this brutal initiation ritual, they will allow him to become a gang member. Frog congratulated the newcomer and warned him that there was no turning back now. In the morning, the 21st Street gang gathered for a showdown. Danny couldn't find his friends at the station. The captain declared full combat readiness. In the evening, the gang surrounded the building where Rocket and his men were hiding. They were armed with pistols, rifles, and shotguns. The Frog shot the first person at the doorstep. The bird threw a grenade into the house. Everyone who ran out was immediately shot. The rest were blown up by the explosion. Rocket stood in front of a car, and he and one of the leaders of the 21st Street gang shot each other with users. Satisfied with themselves, the gangsters celebrated around a bonfire. Unnoticed by them, the police surrounded the drunk bandits. A helicopter illuminated the clearing from above. The policemen arrested the killers, and Hodges personally apprehended the Frog. He no longer intends to be friends with anyone from the gangs. The bandit, on the other hand, believes that the old cop simply used him. It seemed like everything was over, but the drunken bird grabbed a rifle and shot Hodges. The shooter and the girl who was lying next to him were sent to the other side. The Frog was glad that his old acquaintance was wounded. The bulletproof vest was pierced. Hodges asked his partner to call his wife. The man hesitated for a while, but then panicked and burst into tears. His speech became slurred, and at some point, Hodges stopped breathing. Soon, Danny got a new partner who was just as bold as he was. It was time for Pac-Man to teach the rookie.
I grew up in this goddamn neighborhood, okay? I don't need no lecture from no white cop about how to get on down here.